All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Hope you're having an amazing morning. With us today is Thor. Good morning, Thor. How are you doing today?
Hey Carlos, what's going on, man? I'm doing awesome. Good for this Monday.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's take a look at our gappers list today. Obviously, the markets are up. We'll look at the market pulse in a second, see what's happening today and for this week. But right now, guys, there is a lot on this green list, gapping up list. So obviously, we have a lot of several low flow stocks sitting on here, around 20 million, some at 7, 17, 20. So looks like very much a nice low flow day today. A lot of activity, some up as much as 218. Can't wait to look at that one and what's behind all that action there. But if you come down a little bit, 9%, 8%, 7%, you got some of the stocks that we've been watching quite a bit here. And these are all looking pretty interesting this morning, up nicely. Again, the SPY is pushing some of these up. I see the airlines are on here, the cruise lines are on here. So it's going to be a nice jam-packed day for us here over on the green side with the market putting in a little nice gap up this morning. And then on the downside, we have a couple of just three on there. INO is one that's been trading very good. They're down 30%. Wow. I just saw that. I had no idea that was happening there. So we'll take a look at what's going on there. That's a big drop for those guys. So we'll come back. Let's first look at the market pulse.
Hey Carlos, I think right
Yeah.
now I don't think I don't think the chat room is seeing us right now.
Oh, they're not. Are they seeing us or they can't hear us? Which one? I turn on the mic now. Can you guys hear now? Hear us now?
There we go.
Okay. All right. Okay. But can you see us as well? Can they see us?
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Oh, we're good to go. Okay, perfect. So
Yeah,
guys,
we're good now.
we were just briefly talking about just what's gapping up this morning. Again, it's a lot on here today. As you can see, we got airlines, cruise lines, all kinds of stuff happening today. Obviously, with the SPY up, pretty nice 1.4. Let's get to the market pulse store and give us the latest and greatest today.
From what I've been seeing, it looks like the futures are up and some other things due to some good stuff overseas and some market recovery overseas, which is kind of making people a little bit more excited about market recovery here. SPY also closed out Friday with a pretty strong day. We had tested really the low of a pretty significant daily range, and we were going to pivot lower, ended up bouncing off of that and moved up, decently enough. So it was good. It was good to see us, after testing that the prior day on Thursday, make a nice rally, and we closed, above almost 330, above 328. So since then, the QQQs and TQQQs are all popped up. So it looks like maybe some tech recovery might be, in our future, maybe. Also noticing some tech travel sector stuff seems to be moving and popping a little bit. A lot of volume in BA, for instance, this morning. So it looks like today has all the trappings of a good rally day. However, we certainly can't make any massive assumptions. One thing that's really hard is on these gap up days on the SPY. Sometimes basically the most of the move happened without you, and then you're stuck looking for longs all day while the market corrects itself from the big gap up. So it'll be an easy trading day, and it won't do any of that foolishness.
Yep, absolutely, man. Let's take a look at our list today. So let's go over. We have a lot to get through. Let's remove what we had here from Friday when I thought it was Thursday. I'm still getting some comments on that. Yes, I do remember it is Monday. So thank you for that. Um, yeah, that was fun. That was fun. You had to see some of the comments on the chat room were just incredible. We had a really good time with that one. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's start with what's gapping down today. AQST. This one at the moment, not a great pre-market action. It is down 31.3. It is a 31 million shares flow stock, so it's not a low flow stock, sitting slightly above that number, but a nice big gap down. I'm concerned a little bit with the type of volume we're getting here, 1.5 million shares for the most part on any given day here, really, or below that. So again, that volume is very light. We need a lot more volume than that to get things going. Pre-market's not looking great on a day like today where we have so many stocks looking so good in our gapping up list. Something like this, I'm gonna skip on. I'm gonna keep this away from my list. At the moment. So let's head down over to INO, man. INO down 31.6. Thor, what's happening here?
I know that with Battery Day and everything else like that, I think Tesla had signed a really decent deal with a lithium provider. So I know. Oh wait, no, this is INO, not Neo. So, Innovo had an FDA trial got put on hold for their coronavirus vaccine trial. So they're
Mm.
down. The 33% when it was reported was already dropped by the time it did that. And it's because their major vaccine trial is on hold now. It's hard to tell which way these go. On hold doesn't mean failed, doesn't mean didn't work. It just means that there's some information there that's causing them not to push forward. So, but we'll have to see how that goes overall. But yeah, they're down on some pretty serious market catalysts today.
Yeah, I mean, they had a great daily for a possible breakout, as you can see here, but that is out the window. INO definitely on our list today with that catalyst. We have 4.8 million shares traded right now. And as you can see, the pre-markets, it's not the greatest with that type of volume, right? So a lot of transactions happening here that are not creating huge moves as far as price action. But definitely on our list today. This one's going to be very active this morning so far with some huge volume here. CARV, CARV here. This one is down 11.8 after a great day Friday. Huge drop here back to some of these moving averages. Pre-market, so-so. It could be better. 181,000 shares traded. But they're down pretty big today. Now, the issue with this stock is we have looked at this before. It does not trade very clean, guys, right? It's a very low flow stock sitting at 480,000 shares. So again, it's not one that trades very, very good at all. So I'm gonna, again, on a regular day, I'll probably keep an eye on this one if it wasn't so low float. But again, I'm looking forward to see what's going to be on our gapping up list. It's going to look a lot better, especially on some of these tickers that we've been watching for some time that got great volume this morning. A lot of them over 500,000 for the most part. So I'm going to skip on this one again, down quite a bit here. Not a great daily, and the flow is ridiculous. All right, what's gapping up? PLL this morning. They are up 214%. This is definitely the low flow of the day, very active. I can't scroll back on my 5 minute. I'm not sure why. It's not letting me get no more history here. So, oh, there we go. Okay, it's just froze up a little bit. All right, so it's got some good activity here in the pre-market. Up again, up 213%. The stock closed at 11 bucks. It is now trading at
Mm.
35. What's the latest and greatest on this one?
So PLL is going to be our electric car company of the day. Basically, they're not an electric car
Oh,
company, but this is the company I was talking about that Tesla signed the lithium deal with. So
gotcha.
PLL is Piedmont Lithium. So they're going to be supplying Tesla with a whole bunch of lithium for all those batteries that they're going to be getting made for those Teslas. So that's a really good look for PLL, and a lot of people are jumping in to get an early piece of it.
Yeah, this is gonna be very active. I can't wait to see the action on this one. I mean, that is really big news for these guys. But keep in mind, at the end of the day, still a 7 million shares flow. So please be very careful in taking trades on this one. But this is the low flow of the day for sure, because that type of catalyst, you are going to get a lot of activity and movement here. So I have it down here next to my risky pile for the low flow team. Next we have LAC. This one, pre-market is not so bad, up 20%, 660. The daily activity and volume is not great. Their daily chart looks good, but their daily volume for the most part really light, around 2 million shares. For the most part, looks like to be the average. Again, just guessing of some numbers here, maybe even lower than that. Last couple of days, where they've seen an increase in volume, so you're seeing these candles kind of spread out a little more, give you a nice little wide body candles here. But I don't know, something about the stock that I'm not feeling. Thor, unless you have some great catalysts that we might push this to keep this on the list, I'm inclined to not have it on here.
Yeah, it's similar to PLL actually without the deal. LAC is also a lithium company, so
Hmm.
I think they started to show a little bit more volume as battery day and all of that kind of happened at the end of last week. So I think that's seen the uptick, and I think probably what you're seeing now is actually a sympathy play, more
Hmm.
or less, just off of the great news for PLL and everything that's going for them. I think people are saying, well, if not them, lithium companies in general might just be a good place to get involved in. So definitely a little bit higher price with a little bit. Still, I agree with you. It's that doesn't look
Yeah.
spectacular.
Doesn't look great. So with that, I'd rather keep an eye on PLL, although again, it's a low flow stock, but this one I'm going to remove for now. SHLL, we know it's a shell company. We usually do not watch this one, so I'm going to scroll on down to GRAF. Now, this is another low flow stock sitting at 17 million shares float. What kind of company this is? graph industry. Again, pre-market's not looking great, so I'm not going to spend no time on it because I know we're going to have a lot of stuff on here that's going to look great. So I'm going to skip on this one. Thor, if there's any crazy news that we need to know about, interrupt me. But on some of these, I'm going to fly right through them because we got some really good tickers down here that I
Mm.
want to get to. Um,
Yeah,
next,
nothing overly notable.
yeah. All right. So DNVN also not a great pre-market action, guys. So I'm going to skip on this one. It's got some volume today. It's energy company here, 444. But the pre-market is not great. Their daily is decent. It's not bad, but the pre-market not looking all that exciting. FMCI, 20 million shares flow, kind of sitting on that low flow situation there. Horrible pre-market action. This is just very choppy. It is up 11%. They are over 100,000 shares company. But again, this is not looking good at all. So Zen is telling us that Graph is another shell company. So again, these shell companies just do not trade very well. Space is up here, right? And so this one is up 10%. Decent pre-market action, guys. 741,000 shares traded right now. So I like what I'm seeing on here. Also, we've been consolidating nicely on this one over the last couple of days. We got a little bounce here off this beautiful level of support. This 15 has been amazing for this style. You can see it right on here. Every time we get to that 15, we find a way to bounce back. So we did that 2 trading days ago. We're now at the top of this range. Can they break out of here? Do they have the juice? The SPY is definitely on their side today. We're gapping up nicely, 1.4, if not more by now. But yeah, Space is definitely a good one today. MT is a foreign stock, so we'll skip on that one. Plug, you know how I feel about this stock, doesn't trade very well, so I'm going to skip on that one as well. XPEV, take a close look at this one. Pre-market is bad. It's just really bad. I'm not seeing a great pre-market action on this one. Is this a recent IPO? Yes, seems to be a recent IPO on September 27. So I'm not seeing anything great. Their daily does look great. Possible continuation of a bounce here, but just not in love with the pre-market right now. Um, let's look at a Workhorse. They are up 6.3. This one, decent pre-market action. Their daily is again took a hit, nice hit in these last week or so. Nice, beautiful hit here. We're getting a beautiful comeback now. Possible continuation on Workhorse. I do like their daily. Their pre-market action could be better, so I'm going to put it as a possible for now. But this could easily move up because I think this one has a really good daily as well. Um, U1. Didn't we look at this last week? U1
Hmm.
yeah, it was active last week. But look how it traded, guys. It's just horrible. Just very bad here. Again, barely any volume as you can see here on the daily, creating not a clean price action. The pre-market was also horrible. So I'm not a fan of this one, Urban One. I'm gonna take this off my list. They got 4.5 million shares traded right now. They're up 6.1. They do not have shares for short, but again, this stock the way it's trading now, I'm not a fan of it. Also, look at this the flow on this 997. So we don't want to touch that. Head on down to SBE. SBE, also another one that's not looking great at all. It's not looking interesting at all here. So I'm gonna skip on this one. CUK, we know it's a different share class of CCL. So let's just look at CCL. And is CCL on here? Yes, they are. So here they are. CCL, 1 million shares traded right now. They're up 3.1. Their daily is also looking pretty good. So I like CCL this morning. Let's take a look at the rest of the cruise lines. RCL is one that might be active later on. This one has a hard time getting going in the pre-market. So I'm going to skip on this one. NCLH is the other one that we usually look at. Also, not great pre-market action, but they do have okay volume. But CCL right now has the best pre-market action out of all the three. So I'm going to keep that one on deck this morning. And we know, guys, if CCL, I'm going to put NCLH as a secondary. If CCL is very active and is very choppy, you can always check out NCLH, and this one tends to move a little bit smoother if you know there's a lot of volume in that whole entire sector. Let's go back up. We have Tesla on here. Tesla with a beautiful pre-market action, 1.2 million shares traded, great daily as well. So I like Tesla. I'm going to put that on here. That looks good. Again, there's a lot of news around Tesla and the battery, as you mentioned, Thor. Just a lot going on in that whole entire arena now.
Mm.
Rad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Rad. I'm not sure what's happening with Rad. If we have any news on it, I mean, they had three really bad days, with this one here being the worst of them. But their pre-market action is just not great. Now, the issue with Rite Aid, guys, is very difficult to trade. It's one of these stocks that doesn't move all that well. This probably was the best trading day. And again, when it gapped down here, for the most part, this pre-market action right now, I'm not seeing anything great. Thor, unless you have any news on this one, that can.
Rad's a little interesting. So
Hmm.
on the 24th, Rite Aid actually had really decent earnings, but their full year's guidance wasn't, and it seemed to have really interrupted. And this stock actually on earnings, I've played it a couple times on earnings,
Hmm.
and it's actually traded really well on earnings, and I was really disappointed this year to see it not do that. But this might be one of those stocks. If you'll notice on the daily chart, for those who are looking, the volume on Friday was a pretty narrow band, and over 18 million shares came in. So
Hmm.
with the good earnings but with the mixed news, that might have been a good opportunity to tank the stock a little bit and shake the tree out a little bit and load up for a move back up. Rite Aid might actually be our hidden our
Yeah.
hidden gem in there. It did it for me last year. It might be something today, just for your maybe your secondary list. You might
Yeah,
want to hide
might
Rite
be
Aid on
might be the
there.
sleeper for today. I agree with that. I mean, this drop is very interesting here with the volume as well. So let's throw that on a secondary pile there. Next, we have Uber. They are up 3.9 right now. Scattered pre-market action. I'm not seeing anything all that great. They do have some volume on here. Um, Could be a good secondary, but I'm not completely sold on it. This is another one that it can trade pretty light in the pre-market and still put in a good day. We've seen that before in the past, and I've seen a lot of you guys take some really amazing trades off of Uber, even having this type of pre-market action. Um,
Yeah, I
let's look at
know Uber
yeah.
just won some legislation stuff or some legal stuff in London, I think, to
Hmm.
start gaining more access to London and being able to go in there. So I know they had some upgrades back in like August, and since then it's been really quiet. But maybe with the news of the London license being a possibility, maybe that'll spark them a little bit with the UK win.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Let's take a look over at what do we have here? VXRT. Oh, this thing is flipping here. Okay, VXRT is next. Pre-market's okay. Their daily is great, getting a little bit of a bounce back here. Um, I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure about this pre-market action. I'm gonna skip on this one for now, but I will. I know this ticker very well. If this thing starts hitting our turbo breakup or turbo breakdown scanners pretty hard, I'll definitely tune into it because again, it can trade very well when it has great volume. Let's take a look at NKLA. This one is been consolidating over the last couple of days. Again, this thing has been taking a hit with the allegations of fraud and this and that and cooking the books, whatever the case may be. They're now been consolidating here. On a day like today, I really don't want to keep an eye on NKLA. I think there's going to be a lot of other stuff moving pretty well. Again, I just don't know with the negative news that this thing has behind it, if it's going to have the juice to pop, if the market is going to be strong today. Again, the market right now is sitting at 1.4, kind of consolidating, trying to break out of this 333.52. We'll see if it's able to do that in the next couple of minutes. Also, notice that 333.42 on the SPY is a great level of support. We had great support there when this thing started dropping. So we're hitting the ceiling on that now as resistance. Let's see if that's going to do any change in direction or if we're going to break out of that. All right, let's look at the airline sector right now. American Airlines, 1.5 million shares traded. This one is up now 3.7. Nice little bounce. I do like this one this morning to take a look at. I'm going to look at United next because this is one that I personally like as well. It's got some volume 2.5, but not as much as I would have thought. Only 155. So I'm throwing, even although I like trading this one, I'm going to throw it down as a possible. I expect a lot more volume on a day like today. They're up 2.5, but definitely American Airlines is leading the way. I see a lot of you guys throwing out BA. So let's take a look at BA here. BA also has a good daily as well. Nice day on Friday. Good pre-market action, 446. Yes, this is a day that BA can actually trade very well. We've seen it do better than this in the pre-market action. So I'll put it on here. But we definitely seen better from BA though. I would expect it today to be a little bit better, but that's okay. Aside from just the overall SPY, Thor, is there any news on airlines sector in general or just SPY movement?
Yeah, I think this is more spy movement. I mean, travel is up, and some of the restrictions are being lowered on some of the states that certain airlines can travel to. So, they're hoping for a slight increase in traffic, but travel sector in general is still pretty beat down. I know that's probably where some of the volume from CCL is coming out of. CCL's gapped up into a range that's actually a little overpriced, I think, for where it's at. And I think you might have some people that bought in back when it was at $8, $10, and stuff like that could be starting
Mm-hmm.
some coverage up at 15. I mean, that's quite a move. That's double your money almost if you're in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So, oh, did that go through one more rep? All right. So, someone told me in there, which I didn't spot yet, which I guess these thing that the airlines do, are getting some loan backing from the government
Mm.
is on the table. I knew it was on the table this week. I didn't know if it had gone through yet. So there's news on AAL and BA and stuff like that, for sure. Then because of that, even still, so that'll help them with that. But keep that in mind on your travel sector, though. Then airlines are probably going to be better, but cruise lines still have no clear date inside to really get back to running. So I'm surprised to see CCL up on volume. That's actually a little worrisome to see CCL popping like that on volume. Might be in for a sell off.
Yeah, yeah, I fully agree. I like CCL again. I like the action on it right now. So definitely on my list this morning. All right, let's take a look at some of these and then we'll throw it to the chat room. What do we have here as far as Apple? Let's see what's going on there. Apple has a great pre-market action, guys, up 2.5 this morning. What a great bounce that we have on Apple. So I think Apple is worth keeping an eye on. Let's take a look at what else. Oxy's on this list. They are not anything too exciting. They're up 2.3, but I don't see anything great. A pre-market is usually okay for Oxy. At the open, they would trade very well if they are going to be in play today. So not seeing anything all that exciting on the pre-market right now, but I do want to add this as a possible because when the market does move up here nicely, if it does that today already it's already up quite nice this morning. Again, 1.4. That's a big pop after especially being down so many days and somewhat on a downtrend for the last almost for the entire month of September, right? We're starting to see some of these pop-ups here start giving people hope and, maybe a small rally. Who knows? We'll see what happens. All right, BP is foreign. We know that, so we'll skip on that one. Kodak, we know is a stock that, again, you really don't want to trade, don't want to mess with, especially on a day like today. So we're going to skip on that one. And then DKNG, I'm putting this one out here because I see several people throwing this one out. Yes, the daily does look good. I fully agree. This daily here, guys, very similar to what we had with, was it NEO or INO? It was INO before this drop here. INO
Mm-hmm.
had a nice daily possible breakout, just couldn't get going here. Look at the resistance. I mean, this is textbook trading right here, right? The can break out of that. You see a nice little drop here.
I
Great
actually
swing trade.
played that breakout
You
from
did.
18 through 1850. I got like
Yeah.
5 cents on that
You didn't get
breakout, and
too
then it
far.
failed.
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
broke out, and then I bailed right when it came
Yeah.
back to break even, and it was all downhill after that. I guess I should have
Yeah.
been waiting for a pop and fail.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the play, though. You know the play you're looking for this to get in and break out. And if it doesn't, you have to bail out. Maybe switch your position if that's your strategy. But yeah, that was the play. It had to get going and it didn't. So nice change in direction there. So I do like what I'm seeing. What was what we're talking about? So DK and G. Yeah, I like this daily. I like the pre-market. I like the volume. We're gonna throw this one on here as well. But the daily does look really good on DK and G this morning. All right, guys, I know I already added a lot onto this list, but I want to see what you guys have. Before I get to them, Thor, do you have anything that you like this morning that we haven't gone over?
No, nothing that we haven't gone through. DKNG actually is something I've been playing off and on for the past week or so. They've had some really good stuff, and there is some news out there about Vegas and MGM doing some stuff. So Vegas is kind of waking up and getting more there, which is sports are back in play. You've got football games going again, so DKNG is going to look to capitalize on that for sure, especially since you can't bet in person as much. So on the
Mm-hmm.
online platform, DKNG is always gonna. I think they're gonna be the new way to go. So
For some time.
I would
Yeah.
definitely keep that one in there for sure. That one looks really good.
Yeah.
And no, that's about all I'm really eyeing out this morning.
All right. Excellent. All right, guys, let's take a look at what you guys have this morning. We have Penn, PE, and PENN here. Yeah, volume's not great, but also similar daily as well. I see what you're looking at here, possible breakout. But DKNG is the one I'm going to go with today. I think it has a better activity. Neo, we looked at, I believe. Neo, oops, let's get this in here. What do we have going on? Neo, 1 million shares traded right now. So Neo's just been stuck in this consolidation, which is okay because if you look at this consolidation range, it's like about $1.50. So if you're getting some opportunities within $1.50 on a stock that's trading at 18 bucks, that's pretty good. So for the most part, they're up 3.1 today. Some good volume. Getting a little bit of hesitation here, getting above this pre-market high is 1897. Yeah, you know what? This is worth watching. I'm only putting it as a top possible because I have so many on here, but I will check this one. If something in here looks weak, we can replace it for that. It does look good. All right, let's head down to CBAT. CBAT was very active last week, continuing to get going here this morning once again. Nice pre-market action, volume starting to come in lovely here. CBAT is a low flow stock. Well, not a low flow, but it's a lower price. It's a 20 million shares flow, but you want to be careful with this one and treat it as a risky stock. So I'm going to put it next to PLL. CBAT is active here. I believe last week there was a lot of trades on this one. People took advantage of it, so I will keep it on there. Let's take a look at MU. This morning, Sam L is giving us that one. Let's see what we have going on with MU today. So MU right now, volume is okay, 230. Pre-market action is not great. But again, that's typical MU. You don't get that great pre-market action. Now, MU, the few times that we had some kind of volume, it has not been trading very well. I think we had a couple of days where it did something, but aside from that, it hasn't been a good intraday trading stock. So I'm inclined not to have this one on my list today, guys. I think we have some other stuff that's looking very well. What is AMD doing today? For example, AMD looks better daily and also pre-market. Actually, this daily looks amazing on AMD. Possible
Mm-hmm.
breakout, right? We've been consolidating here, so I'm gonna throw AMD on this list there. All right, let's head down. What do we have? PENN we looked at. We do have workhorses right on here on my secondary list. And again, I'm just not sure about this pre-market action. It has a great daily. Again, I might change my mind once I go through this main list here. But again, workhorses could be one of those stocks that can be a hit or miss. It can trade very choppy or very clean, like many other stocks can. But this one can do it even after it has a great pre-market action. Those first couple of minutes can be very choppy. I can always go back to this stock, at 10:30, 11 o'clock when things settle down a little bit and see if I can get some opportunities. But at the open, this stock for me, has not been a great opening range breakout stock, right? It's just very choppy. The pullbacks are very deep and very hard. So when you do that, you get stopped out quite a lot. That's one of the reasons for me personally for putting it on this list. Now, if you traded this successfully at the open with your edge and strategy, by all means, this one is in play today. 656, up 5.6. You want this on your list. All right, let's look at the PPL is taking off. Yes, it's very active this morning. Stock operator is giving us a bunch of stocks here that all look should be very active. Microsoft, Apple, FSOY, Penn. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'm going to look at Twitter and Peloton. Let's take a look at those two. Twitter is
Yeah,
interesting.
Peloton's been trading great the past
Yeah,
like week.
yeah. Twitter is interesting on their daily. Their pre-market, a little bit light. They do get a lot of volume when they're in play, but their daily, though, I see what you're looking at here, stock operator. This is a great daily, a possible ABCD pattern off the daily here, possible breakout. And Peloton, I specifically want to look at this one because I know they've been trading so well. These guys has just been killing it. Even with this drop here, they found a nice little base support and they came right back, and now they're slamming against the all-time highs here. Having a hard time getting above that 100. I know they got to 150 or so, 50 cents, I mean. But yeah, their pre-market is not great, but they have potential because if they can get going here, they're gonna pop nicely. I'm gonna add Peloton to this list, and I don't think I can add any more, guys. I think we have quite a bit here. All right, Peloton is there. Oh, let's type that correctly. Here we go. All right, and that's what we have. PLL, we have Tesla, we do have as well. Yeah, those two are again, they're definitely on fire today. PLL is looking to pop right here. Tesla's also doing okay, up 4%. Give me some back right now, but their daily chart looks amazing as well. YouTube, I think we don't have enough time to go through some of the stuff you guys have, but we did look at a Peloton, we did look at AMD, so we did look at a lot of stuff you guys are throwing out. American Airlines, we looked at. That's on my list. Neo is on our list, so that's good. So I don't feel too bad because a lot of stuff you guys are throwing out, we did look at it already. BLNK is one that we did not look at. BLNK, I don't like this pre-market action. Their daily has a little bit of a possible breakout pattern here. I know they had a big day a couple of days ago. They gapped up nicely here. They had insane volume. Look at it here. They just couldn't get the momentum going. The next day, they kind of lost it. So they're going back up towards the same range, the same area of resistance. Can they get going today? But when I look at this pre-market action, I don't see anything that I really like there. All right, so and then we'll look at Roku and FedEx as the last one. Let's take a look at Roku. Ah, Roku is nice. Roku has a nice daily. Let's make space for Roku. Let's throw it in here.
Always got to make space for
Yeah,
Roku.
you really do. You really do. It's got to be at least on your secondary list, at if anything. So, FedEx. Any news on FedEx? What do we have going on? They're up 2%. I don't know if there's anything really happening with them. They had a big day Friday as well, getting up towards these all-time highs. And today, in pre-market at least, they are already breaking past the all-time highs. I want to believe here.
They do have some upgrades. I know Deutsche Bank just turned them from a hold, took them from a hold to a buy, and it's a target of like 318 or something like that. So that might be getting people a little excited.
All right, excellent. All right, guys. I like FedEx. I just don't have no room for it. I'm gonna
Yep.
put it. I'm gonna put it here because you're breaking all time highs like that. The volume is very light, so I'm just gonna put it there just to have it. Make sure to take a look at it later in the day, if anything. All right, and that's it, guys. Let's go over to our community announcements. Just one reference here. I keep seeing a lot of people asking about Shell. Now this one, SHLL, is a Shell company. We usually do not trade this. It is active, right? 16.5, but typically not the type of stock that we keep on our radar. So for that reason, is why I don't have it on my list. All right, let's go into community announcements. We'll come back and fine tune this list.
Hey, everybody. It is Monday and welcome. My name is Thor Young. I'm a moderator at Bear Bull Traders. Underneath me, you see the Twitter for @NormBBT. That is not me. That's Norm, who normally does a pre-market show. He's had a lot going on with his plate this morning, so I thought I'd step in and give him a hand. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm @Thor Young. It's just my name. Makes it easy. So we have a really busy schedule this week. Lots of different stuff going on for everybody. Monday, we've got swing trading with Brian at 2:30, and of course the onboarding class at 8 p.m. with Carlos. Don't want to miss that. If you're new to the chat room, we're certainly love having you, and we're glad you're here. Make sure you get into that onboarding and check that out. That'll get you on the right path right from the start. Tuesday, trade review, 12 p.m. with Eamon, always a highlight, and psychology webinars in the evening with our psychology team. Wednesday, we have our success webinars. We'll go into that here shortly. And then Thursday, we have trade review with Eamon. And Thursday evenings, we have class with me. So Monday through Thursday, you can find the closing bell on YouTube, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. with Peter. And always every morning, you can find yourselves with the pre-market show with Carlos and Norm, or me substituting if Norm is busy. And feel free to throw us a like and a little subscribe if you like the information that you're getting. So coming up, we've got some real cool stuff this week. A collection of the worst trades I've ever seen. Mark Randall in the house, going over what I think is a really fun topic to really cover and go through. All the time we sit here and we look and we talk about these, amazing trades, how we did this, how we did that. But we won't really do a speak honest to the journey about how many trades you have to go through and to become proficient and how much you got to go. So seeing a collection of the worst trades ever, it's certainly going to give you a really nice perspective on, at least if nothing else, what not to do, right? So I think it should be really awesome. After that, we've got developing a trade book for becoming a consistently profitable trader. This is going to be covered by our very own Eamon, Rockstar. This is going to be just absolutely amazing. Eamon, out of any of the moderators I know, has done the most consistent ability of when he decides he wants to learn a play, of actually isolating that play and learning it. I know he's traded the ABCD pattern for the better part of a half a year just because he wanted to master the ABCD pattern. Now he's doing parabolic reversals and other topping patterns. All of these things are really, really good things. So when you get something from Eamon, you're getting a very, very extensive amount of practice and work on a specific level for whatever you're getting from him. So very much looking forward to that class as well. This week, Getting Intimate with Our Thoughts and Emotions by Neda. It's going to be a good time. This is really important stuff to cover as we talk about, and why we spend so much time with our psychology wing for you guys is because anybody can read a book and learn a pattern. Learning the pattern isn't going to get you there. There's a whole psychological battle that you're going to have to go through in order to become a consistently profitable trader, especially if you want to scale up and make more money when you're not just trading dimes and cents, but you're really going for dollars over dollars. It really, really helps you out to have that. On the 6th, we're going to do a town hall with Dr. Katz, who we're going to be hearing from here shortly. And he's going to be talking about working through over trading. I spend a lot of time talking about this myself, that it's an emotional downfall when you start to overtrade. It starts off all good, but then there's this boiling and this desperation that comes in that fuels the overtrading, and it can certainly be incredibly detrimental to your overall success. So looking forward to that from Dr. Katz. All right, member trade of the week giveaway. We've had so much awesome participation off of this event. It's just been really great. So what do? You trade with BBT as you normally would. If your trade's really awesome, what we're going to have you do is go ahead and get it all set up, put a YouTube out there for us so that we can see it, and then we're going to select members every single day and kind of shout out your one member a day, shout out your trade of the day, and out of those we're going to go ahead and pick a trade of the week. So this is how you do it. You mark up your post for your best trade and you put it on Twitter. Don't have Twitter? You need a Twitter. So you got to have to get one. Tag at Bear Bull Traders, at Mike BBT, and at Norm BBT. They're the evaluation committee, so you want to make sure they're on board. And then use the hashtag BBT family, day trading, and stock market. That way, it's really easy for all of us to find and get to look cool trades. The winner is announced, like I said, BBT Monday closing show, and winner, and they will share their trade book and recap afterwards. So that's all we need from you. After it's all done and you're the winner, we want you to sit down, detail out your process, tell you why you did it, throw us up a little video for YouTube, and you will get a brand new phone. So hard to do any better than that, right? All right. Interested in joining Bear Bull Traders? Try a BBT chat room for 1 week for $24. Code premarket24, and you get access to our onboarding class with Carlos. More than worth $24 just to hang out with Carlos for an hour. I know I'd pay it. So you guys should check that out and get you in there and at least get you familiar with how BBT works. You see a lot of glitz and glamour on the outside. We put a lot more on the inside. So if you haven't been a part of the BBT community and seen what actually makes us strong, which isn't this external value, but rather the community within, the pre-market 24 will let you get in there and get a little taste of that before you have to fully commit. So if once you do that, I'm convinced you're going to want to stick around. What are you going to do? I love this community, so I think you will too. Once you make that decision, 35% off lifetime one-time membership can be yours. Just put in the code fall35 since it is now the fall season, and they'll get you 35% off of that. Just alone for the Benzinga news, for our other stuff that we've got going on, classes, any of these different things, TI scanners alone on a yearly subscription is going to be more expensive than getting yourselves in and getting you a lifetime. So you get all that access, but more importantly, you get access to the community, which there's no value that you could place on the BBT community.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Thor. Actually, I just remembered that we do not have Dr. Cass today because he is traveling, so we are going to miss him this morning. So looking forward to having him on next week. So again, I always look forward. Sometimes when he's on, I forget that I'm actually doing the show because I'm so into what he's saying. So we'll unfortunately no Dr. Katz this morning. But on some other good news, we had a great meetup over the weekend. So here we have Mike. Mike had a meetup with Andrea, Tom, Terry, and Brian S., also known as Andrew. So great job, guys. Hope you had a good time. It looks like you guys had a great time. Can't wait to start doing these more frequently. It's a whole lot of fun, guys, to start meeting people in these meetups and kind of get to know our traders and members. So with that said, guys, let's jump back into our list. We have a lot on here. I'm going to scan through this first and remove some of the stuff we might not watch this morning. I like INO because we're down 34%. Their pre-market action, though, is not looking all that great. It's too much swings over here, and the volume is good, 6.4. I'm on the fence on it. I'm going to keep it on here because the only stuff that's really red in our entire list this morning. Space looks good. It's putting a really good pre-market action, guys. I mean, this thing went from the previous day close early this morning and it's been climbing nicely up 12%. So I do like that. I do like their daily. That's staying on deck. Wow, CCL, Norm, I think you called this. It's going to probably drop today. It's been dropping already. Was pretty high this morning. I'm sorry, not Norm, Thor. Was high all the way up to 15.94. Now we're down at, a couple of cents here. So I like CCL. We're getting a lot of movement there. Here is Tesla on the fence. American Airlines is good. BA dropping now is good as well. Everything is good. Hold on a second. Gotta get picky. All right, so all right. I'm gonna take off INO. I don't know. Something this stock might be choppy today. This drop here and the way it's been trading the pre-market, looking at everything else, there's a lot of stuff that looks a lot better. It's still worth keeping on a secondary list, so we'll throw it on here. But off the main list, I like space. I like their pre-market action. CCL is good. Tesla is good, but you know what? Tesla's been a little bit difficult to trade, so I'm going to move Tesla down. Let's get rid of it from our main list. American Airlines is good. I want to keep an eye on that. BA is good, dropping nice here, giving us some good movement this morning. Apple is great. DKNG is good. AMD. I like the daily on AMD. Man, this is gonna be a tough morning. Piton, let's move it. Let's move Piton down just because it's the last one on here. It's gonna be a tough morning, but you just can't
You
watch
got a
everything.
lot.
Yeah, one, two, three, four, five, six. I still got seven. Let's do these and then we'll figure the rest out. So I hopefully today all the moderators are watching something completely different than I'm watching. So if they call something out, I don't miss anything. Let's start with SP space here. So at the moment, guys, we have a great level here on space, high of the pre-market. But what I do like on space is this possible breakout all the way down here. I'm gonna mark it just because I love the way the daily looks here. This 1822, I know the price action is above that now. And when we broke out of that this morning, look how great that was, right? That nice little pop there. So I like what I'm seeing there. And then several tests here as a lot of resistance happening here. So I do like that level. You go down a little bit more on the daily, you're gonna find another level midway from top between the highs and lows at 1726. Great area of support. We're past that, but just in case we get some good action here in the morning and get back to some of these levels down here. Highs and lows from the last two trading days are around you down here towards the bottom, around the pre-market low. So I'm not going to mark the pre-market low. The previous day close and the lows from the last two trading days are more important than everything else on here. So now I need one more level because if we do break out is 1886, which is our pre-market high right now. Next area of resistance that we have is going to be here around 1959. Now keep in mind there's a level slightly below that at 1942. I'm not going to be too picky. I'm going to take where we have a lot more touches, which is up here at 1958, 59. But remember, this is an area, so be mindful of that. Next, we have CCL. CCL has a great activity. Went all the way as high as, again, 1594. 1595 here, and now we're dropping down nicely. That's a great level to have on your list. Towards the bottom, low of the pre-market, right? We just created it at 14. No, actually, we did it early this morning, but I'm not going to count on this. Yeah, we talk about these areas where again you don't have a whole lot of action. This one's going to be more important to me. Whoa, okay. Right here, 1540. I'm gonna mark that down. We did get a drop below that now. Let's see where that goes. But 1540, I'm gonna keep right on here. All right, aside from that, towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last two trading days, guys. So that's good. I am going to mark the next level towards the top just in case. A 1660, great area of resistance. You can see how many times we have tested at here a couple of times, and also here as well. I don't think we're heading in that direction as we continue to drop here in the pre-market. American Airlines also pre-market high right now, dropping a bit. 1298 is your pre-market high at the moment. Your pre-market low, I like this one better here just because we tested that twice, one and two. Let's see if we're going to drop like CCL just did. So I'm not going to put too much weight on this very early on pre-market low around 4:15 in the morning, right? This is more important to me as far as when it comes to levels and being touched several times. Also, look at that 1268. Look how many times we tested that as support. Look at that, just all over the place here. So good to have that number right on there. If we decide to push up here, their daily has been so choppy the last couple of weeks. Just look at this chop up and down. There's really not a great level on here. So I'm going to go back a little bit and see if we could get some support from some previous days that had a cleaner daily activity, like this one here. That's a very clean one. right? Nice gap up, continues all the way to that 1330 46, excuse me, 1346. And then you can see that now several days and levels on that. Even this choppiness, you can see a lot of days opening and closing around that area. So I do like that 1346 on the way up here. If we decide to bounce from any of these levels we have towards the bottom. Here's BA, pre-market high for BA is going to be 162.51. The pre-market low, we can mark this one here at 159 at the moment is 159.70. Their pre-market low is going to be all the way at 159 here. But again, not putting a lot of weight into this pre-market action here. So I like this one a whole lot better right now. We're struggling with that 159.70. Let's see if we could break out of that. If we lose that, we have the previous day close and the highs and lows from the last two trading days towards the bottom here. Now towards the top, very clean level. You can spot it from a mile away. 166.46. You can see the nice support you have here. Nice rejection, more support as well, and then the constant rejection around this area. Now we did pop above that all the way up to 170, but notice how every time it popped up, it slams back down towards that 167, 166, 46 area. So I want to keep that on there as a possible area of a target if we do decide to be strong for today. Here is Apple. Apple all the way up to 115, slightly pulled back right now towards the moving averages. But that 115.48, look at the daily, how great that is as well. Several days hitting up against that number, a little bit higher at 116, but we want to mark the pre-market high as well, at 115.50. So again, several levels on there that are looking great right now on the daily as well. If we're able to break out of this, especially the SPY is going to be strong and give this thing a little bit of juice. 118.44 is a number to have on there. Towards the bottom, guys, low of the pre-market, had a lot of action here around one. It's 13. Again, this 13.70 is the low of the pre-market. I'm not going to put a lot of weight on here. Now, between here, 144.22. Look at the action here. A lot of stuff being done at this range. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one. So that's Apple DKNG. It looks good, guys, for a possible breakout. High of the pre-market, 55.37. Their daily looks amazing. This is all-time high for them, I believe, as well. Yes, it is. So again, let's see how this goes. Looks like it wants to get a test of that pre-market high one more time. Towards the bottom, you really do not need to add anything else to this list, guys. You have your highs and lows from the last two trading days. Previous day close showing a lot of support towards the bottom here. So you're covered there. And then last but not least, we have AMD, which their daily looks really amazing, guys. Consolidating between 74 and 78. We're well above that now over with a pre-market high, which I'm going to mark and keep because you can see how many touches we've had around 79.67, 1, 2. And now right now the price action is at the moment testing that 79.67. So again, a possible breakout if we're going to head in that direction. Towards the top, we do have a level at 80.35. Not a strong level. You only have one day with one wick over here. So again, don't put a lot of weight on that. But that's a good level to have there just in case. And then slightly above that, looking at their daily, I'm not seeing anything all that clean besides this one all the way up here. It's a little bit higher than I would like, but that's where the next level is at, 82.92. You can see the area of support, resistance happening here. Same thing here, a lot of resistance, a lot of support. So that 82.92, I think is going to be a really, really good level. It could actually be 83 to be exact. But again, remember, these levels are an area, but I really like that level on there. Look out for 82 as well. As we get close to that whole dial number, 82.81, you can possibly have a change in direction and loss in momentum there. So guys, huge list this morning. Let's get to our moderators and see what they got going on today. Let's start with John. So break of high of day watch list. He has BA, Facebook, and Apple. Mike has break of high of day scanners. He also has BA and SQ on his list. Eamon has Tesla, PEN, and Apple, and DKNG. Tiffany has Tesla and BA. Peter has AMD, Apple, BA, and will keep his eyes open. Brian has SQ, DKNG, CARV, SRNE, Space, SPCE, and also gold and silver. He'll be on the lookout for those. Andrew's list, he has Tesla, Neo, Workhorse, INO, and Apple as well on his list. But he's also looking at Piton for a possible break of all-time high. So I moved Piton to a secondary. But I'm going to keep a close eye on it because, man, this thing looks like it wants to pop. Great day on Friday, and it's just pushing up against those pre-market highs as well. I don't have it here because I have too many, but that's definitely a good one. All right, that is what we have, folks. Thor, thank you so much for joining us in the pre-market show this morning and covering for Norm. We appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great day today. Remember, guys, if you're joining me for the onboarding class tonight, make sure you also download the DAS free trial. You get a 14-day free trial with DAS. We have the link on our website, so do that. So as you're joining us throughout this week in the chat room, you're also able to participate. There's a couple of videos we have on there that you can follow us, so you can get an idea of what the platform is like. So once again, Thor, thank you, and have a great trading day, man.
Thank you. You too. Keep it green, everybody.